Hey everyone, welcome back. This is Laura, and today I'm just going to go over what I did to lose 10 pounds in 3 weeks based off of a non-alcoholic fatty liver diagnosis that I have, things that were suggested by my physicians, and also just researching in more depth about what's best to help it, because really only diet and exercise are going to help you. If you drink, you have to take out the drinking from your daily life, which I do not drink. But yeah, also let me know what you think, and if you have any questions. I am not a physician. I am not a healthcare provider. I am not your healthcare provider. I am a person on the internet, so always seek your own professional advice. But just quickly, I'm going to go over some of the benefits. So I've had better sleep, I've had better focus, I have more energy, and I'm not reliant on things anymore like caffeine and coffee and stuff like that. So also, one of the better benefits that you'll find in eating like this is you're not as hungry a lot of the time because you're very full from the good foods that you're eating. So one of the things I talked about as a benefit is sleep. So other than this diet that has helped my sleep, also is melatonin. Melatonin, you also want to talk to your healthcare provider about that. But melatonin had not worked for me very well in the past, but I did find one that was helpful for me. It's just a regular store brand, so I'm not going to really go into detail about that because it may not be something that's available to you. So definitely talk with your physician because melatonin is not regulated and it may contain other things that are not good for you. Also, magnesium is also something really good for your sleep. I've taken it off and on throughout the years. My OB/GYN also even said it was good to take while I was pregnant, and it did help me out a lot then. So that's something you may want to look into also. But with this diet, you'll have increased magnesium intake anyway, naturally, so that's probably been helping me as well. So another thing that's been helping me stick to this type of diet is to have easy things to make or to have on hand so I can make quick things to eat that I enjoy. So like avocado toast is something easy and very enjoyable. I do like to also make this like breadcrumb Parmesan crust mixture. I'll insert a picture of the seasoning mix that I use. I use maybe like 2 tablespoons of that in a half cup of breadcrumbs, and I shake it up and I just keep it in the fridge. It's really good for a crust for your chicken and for your vegetables if you want to put them in the oven or the air fryer. I highly recommend that. And then air fried tofu. A lot of people don't like tofu, but I do. And it's also one of those really good nutritional things you can eat. So if you don't like tofu, I would suggest just looking up different videos on how to make it more palatable, because it is very versatile. It's very inexpensive. It's very filling. So I really like it just to make as like a little topping or add to like some pasta sauce or like an Asian type of food. And then egg salad is also really good to have on hand. That's cheap and easy. I do use a brand called Chosen Foods. I use the avocado mayo, so that goes well with the egg salad. And then just helpful things to have that will keep you that are just really helpful for someone if maybe you're the only one in your household that might be partaking in this diet, so that you can make smaller portions, or it's just easier for you to do rather than like turning on the stove or the oven. So like an air fryer has been very helpful to make the smaller portions for me, or to make things that are just more homemade tasting and not just right out of the fridge. You're not always eating cold food all the time. A NutriBullet is amazing. So I do have a NutriBullet. I do have a, what is it? The blender, the like really good blender. I can't even think of what it's called. But I use this one more often because it helps with making smoothies, it helps with making sauces, and it's super easy to clean. The set I bought, I think, was from Home Shopping Network a while ago. So it came with like multiple pieces, so I'm not washing the same things over and over all day. And then intermittent fasting is clinically proven to help you. 14 hours is a sweet spot for me where I'm not getting overly hungry, or when I do eat after my fast, it doesn't make me crash. I mentioned this with the egg salad. I like the brand Chosen Foods and then the brand Primal Kitchen. Those will have a lot of the really bad things taken out of them, but also won't have additives that aren't good for you. So just, take a look at some of those things if you're looking to switch out some of your staples in your pantry or your fridge that may not be so good for you. Also, planning is a huge thing that you have to have like a mind shift with. So if you're not able to cook for yourself every single day, maybe think about freezer cooking, where you make a big batch, put some in the freezer for later in the week or the week after or whatever, and then plan for having stuff on the go. So like little packages of nuts, maybe some bananas or an apple you can throw in your bag, something like that. And then just quickly wanted to go over my goals. So my overall goals are to lose 30 to 40 pounds, lower my cholesterol, and lower my A1C. So all of this is actually going to be solved by this diet and with exercise. So I've also been exercising more often. I go to the gym probably every other day, but mostly all it is I'm on the treadmill for like 20 to 30 minutes, but that's been really helpful to me. So just quickly, things that I have reduced from my diet, and just a side note, reduce and eliminate may be the same thing for you, just depending on your needs. So for me, I've found that reducing saturated fats, added sugars, takeout food, and packaged food has helped me greatly, because packaged food and takeout food, you may not always be aware what's in them that is not good for you. So when I say packaged food, I mean like cookies and, like Oreos and butter crackers and, Ritz crackers and stuff like that. So you really want to kind of stay away from those, especially takeout foods that you don't know exactly what's in them, because there's going to be a lot of added sugars, added fats that you need to stay away from. Added sugars was a really hard thing for me because I have a huge sweet tooth. And if you don't know, I've mentioned it in my other video, the fat in your liver isn't from the fat that you eat. It's from the carbohydrates that you don't burn that build up or that turn into fat that gets stored into your liver. So that's why taking out the added sugars is going to be one of your bigger things that's going to help you out. So like added sugars and really just non-complex carbohydrates is what you need to remove. Let me write that down. Non-complex, or I think they're called simple carbs. Simple carbs. And that's also going to be like your corn and your white potatoes. Okay. So also eliminate. So processed foods. Now, how is that different from packaged foods? So processed foods are going to be anything that's gone from its whole form into a more shelf-stable, less nutritious form. So for example, steel-cut oats are going to be your most whole form of an oat. Now, when you get down, the next level down is old-fashioned oats, which are still really good for you. It's the steel-cut oat, but it's been like steamed and flattened. It's still a little bit processed, but still has a lot of its nutrients. But then you get into like your instant oats, your 5-minute, 3-minute, 1-minute oats. Those are just leftover, the non-nutritious pieces left. So it doesn't have the good fat. It doesn't have the good fiber left. So that's what I mean by processed foods. You want to really take out your red meat. The only red meat that I eat is extra lean ground beef, and it's very little. The bad fast foods. So there are some good fast foods, but you have to really look at the websites and see what's actually in your food, because what may sound fine may not be the best bet for you. Okay. Anything with soybean oil and seed oils are going to be a no-no, because those are going to be inflammatories, which are going to be some of the things that make your liver not work as well. Soybean oil is in a lot of salad dressings. It's actually in a lot of coffee creamers, even the fat-free, sugar-free coffee creamers. Why does it have soybean oil? I have no idea. And then seed oil, so like sunflower oil, grapeseed oil, even sesame oil, those aren't going to be so good for you. Sesame oil, I may use like a tiny bit if I'm making like an Asian dish, but it's not like an entire ingredient like these would be in like a dressing or a marinade. Sugary cereals, that was a big one for me because I love cereal. So I eliminated that. And then palm oil. Palm oil you'll find in a lot of like nut butters. So you need to be careful about the kinds that you buy. Almost all peanut butters have it. Even the natural ones have it. So that's going to be another inflammatory you want to be careful with. Okay. Now increase. What are we going to try to increase our intake of? Fiber, good fats. So like your unsaturated fats. If you're not sure if what you're eating has unsaturated fats or the good fats, you're going to look at the total fat and then minus the saturated fat. And what's left over is your good fat. Okay. Nuts. You want to increase the nuts that you eat. Those will have a lot of good fats and a lot of fiber. Seafood. I love seafood. So this is giving me a big reason to eat really good food. And then before I go any further, that reminded me. So a really good outline for this type of diet is going to be the Mediterranean diet. Okay. Drip coffee has been proven to help heal your liver. I used to drink a lot of instant coffee or a lot of like coffee with, sugary, fatty stuff added to it from drive-through places. But regular drip coffee, black coffee is going to be your best bet. But I do also add some stevia sometimes and some fat-free half and half if I really want to. But that's been proven to be very helpful. And then the oils that you want to have in your diet are going to be canola oil, olive oil, avocado oil. Those are going to be the ones you want to cook with. Those are the things you want to see as ingredients when you do buy something that's been packaged, basically. Also, you're going to need to increase your water because you're going to be losing a lot of water weight from taking out a lot of the bad carbs, but it's also going to help you flush the bad toxins that your liver needs a little bit more help getting rid of in your body. And then essentially increase your lean proteins. So like any white meat, so like chicken, pork, turkey. Turkey, you kind of want to be careful because I've found that there's some turkey that's very fatty. And then like nothing with the skin. Okay. No bacon. I do like turkey bacon. I've actually been making that, and that's something that my family likes a lot too. So another key thing that's going to help you stick to this is have things on hand that you like that fall within these parameters. Okay. I love hummus. I've been going through 1 or 2 packs of hummus every single week, and they have so many flavors now. It's been great. Now I will eat it with some vegetables, or I'll buy, which essentially falls under the packaged foods or processed foods, those pita chips, but I'll only eat like 5 or 6, because this is very filling. Okay. I like to keep oatmeal on hand. So both steel cut and old fashioned, just depending on what I have prepared ahead of time, or, if I have time to make the, old-fashioned oats. Avocados, I eat those all the time. I love them. They're so versatile. You can even put them in smoothies, which look up some of those recipes. It's interesting because you wouldn't think that avocados would go in like a fruit smoothie. Chia seeds. So chia seeds are a great additive to anything that's liquid. So your oatmeal, your smoothies, your yogurt. But definitely if you've never used chia seeds in your food, take a look online to see the best preparation for these, because these do absorb a lot of liquid, which can lead to a choking hazard if you don't have them properly absorbed before you ingest them, okay? But this has been really great for me to have. I have a big old bag in my fridge and I add it to whatever I'm eating. Chia seeds have a lot of good fat, have protein, and then they have fiber. So it's just one of those really good for you. I don't want to call it like what do they say, like power foods or whatever, but it's just really good to have on hand. Fat-free Greek yogurt. I usually have plain and the flavored ones. That can go in like dressings. It can go in your smoothie. And then the flavored ones, just be careful with like what type of sugar substitute that they use. Okay. Bananas. I eat bananas almost every day now. My son eats them almost every day. And then bag salads. Celery and carrots have really been helpful for me to have on hand, especially when you prep them ahead of time. These two, they're just easy to grab and eat with this or eat with, your main meal. Stevia. I do keep some stevia packets just in case I want to sweeten up my coffee or my smoothie or my oatmeal, but it's very little and I don't use it every day. Another thing you want to have on hand and incorporate in this type of diet is low fat and fat-free dairy. So I always have reduced fat cheese, skim milk, and then fat-free half and half. That goes with my coffee. So what else? Now, this is going to take you a little bit longer to figure out the good takeout stuff. So I can't, just go through a McDonald's drive-thru anymore. I can't go through the Mexican food drive-thru anymore. I have to really know what they're selling or what they have in their food before I can decide if it's okay for me to eat. But once you figure it out, it's great. It's not going to change, right? So there's a restaurant near me called Kava. It's amazing. They make the best salads. They make grain bowls. They also make pita wraps, but I've noticed that it's probably because of the carbs in the pita that when I do have the wraps, I don't feel so great after. Like I get really hungry right away, and then I don't feel really good the next day. So, but I do love that I can add roasted vegetables. A lot of their dips and toppings are made from vegetables. It's been super helpful for me. Chick-fil-A. So their salads are really good. Their dressings may not be that great. So I would suggest either just using, just a small amount of the vinaigrette that they sell or using your own dressing. And then I make sure to get the salads with the grilled nuggets because they give you a lot and it's very filling. You can even make that last for 2 meals and the grilled nuggets are delicious. And there's a restaurant near me called Laguna Madre. So it's like almost like a fast food seafood place, but their grilled items, they're homemade. They don't have anything added to them other than seasoning and oil for cooking. And then they also make like fresh vegetable sides and stuff like that. So that's been very helpful to me. And then I live in Texas, so we have a lot of Tex-Mex food, which I can't really eat anymore. But I have found that if I get chicken tortilla soup, that's really good for me because there's usually some vegetables. And then with the weather getting colder, it's been pretty comforting. But I do, and these are things you need to keep in mind when you are buying takeout food. Just ask for things to be removed or on the side. So like I get mine without rice and then no cheese. I may get it with the tortilla toppings, but I, it's no big deal if I have a few. And then prep is going to be your best friend too. So what I like to prep is steel cut oats because I like to make it in the Instant Pot. It's creamier and it's less mess for me. I also like to just grill up some boneless, skinless chicken breast early in the week because that's also something that my family will eat as well. Brown jasmine rice or any type of whole brown rice is really good for you, very filling, and it also gives you that kind of carby satisfaction. That I also like to make in the Instant Pot as well. And then I will like to crumble up and cook some extra lean ground beef to have on hand, either for my food or for my family as well. Roasted veggies are really good to prep. or at least cut them up and have them ready so you can roast them halfway through the week. And then again, just cutting up your fruits and vegetables that you can prep ahead of time, because if it's ready, if it's there, you're more likely to grab it rather than just be like, I don't want to cut up this apple. Let me just have some Cheetos. You know what I mean? And then I have just a small list. This is for me this week, actually. So I just need to buy firm tofu, some walnut bread. This is a really hearty bread that I like that has fiber in it and protein, but it's not going to last me very long because of the walnuts. It's going to go stale pretty quickly, so I have to just kind of remind myself when to get it to have on hand. And then acorn squash, I've started to really like acorn squash. I've never really had it before. It's easier to prepare than butternut squash, and then it's like a natural bowl shape. So what I do is I cut it in half. I put some avocado oil, spray on it, salt and pepper. I put it cut side down in the air fryer. I can't remember. It's I think 35 minutes at maybe 375 or 400, and it roasts it up perfectly. So I use that as like a bowl for like pasta sauce, and then I'll either add some grilled chicken or some of the ground meat that I already made, and then I'll put some low-fat mozzarella cheese, and that's my Italian dish for the night. And then also I like to buy unsweetened soy milk. You definitely want to look for things that are unsweetened in your plant milks because there's a lot of hidden sugars in them. So yeah, that's what's been helping me stay the course for a bit. Now I have had a cheat day here and there. Depending on how hard I go on the cheat day will depend on how bad I feel the next day. So that's something to just kind of keep in mind. Another thing that I've noticed is other than like the better sleep and the focus and all that and energy, I don't have the muscle aches that I used to. I used to complain that my hand was hurting, and I thought it was just all the crafting I was doing, but it's actually from inflammation that I was getting in my muscles, which most likely was from a lot of the bad stuff I was consuming on a regular basis. So I hope this was helpful. I hope if you need help with something like this that you speak with your healthcare provider. But I mean, really just focusing on whole foods, things that are not saturated fat, things that don't have the added sugars. It can really change your palate. It can change your taste buds. And you know, it's not going to be forever. You're going to get to have a burger eventually. You're going to get to have some fried chicken eventually. Just be very focused, very intentional. And I hope things work out for you for the best. But yeah, I hope this was helpful. Give me a comment, like, and or subscribe. I'll do my best to answer any questions that you have. But like I said, I am not a healthcare provider, nor am I your healthcare provider. But yeah, all right. So I know I went through that a little bit fast. But anyway, I hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are. Take care. Bye-bye.